Okay, and the basics of our broth, of making any type of broth, is to have a certain amount of vegetables. Your celery, carrots, and onions, along with the bones. The bones actually, in some of them, well, here's a big one. In here, what you're going to get, what's going to leach out of here is in the marrow. It has a lot of flavor, a lot of nutrients and stuff, and so what we're doing is we're cooking that out. And it's also going to give us some flavor. Basically, you can look at making a stock maybe in 3 or 4 stages. This stage is getting the bones covered with water and putting your vegetables in. I'm going to turn the stove on to probably about medium just to get the water to get to hot. And in the end, I don't need to cut everything up. I just need to get them to be able to fit in the pot. So all I'm going to do is cut everything into large size. So it's in the pot. I'm going to put a lid over it. And at this point, the only thing I want to do when the water gets hot, I'm going to add some spices. But right now, I just want to get everything hot. I've got the basic of I've got the bone, celery, carrots, and onions in there. So turn it on medium heat right now. I'm going to let it warm up and then we'll go from there. Okay, it looks like we're ready to add our spices. And as you can see, it's just beginning to kind of bubble and boil. And what we're going to want to do is turn that down because we really want it to simmer. It should be noted that the longer that you simmer something like this, the more flavor that you get. Let me get out just a little spoon, and I'm just going to kind of push everything down, take a look at it. And I've turned it down to about a simmer, which is like a medium-low setting. And these are the spices that I'm going to be putting into my stock. Now, I've gone out and I've picked some fresh parsley out of the kitchen garden. And I've rinsed it off under water. And I've got 2 different types here. This is your flat leaf, and this other is the curly. Like I say, now, the stalks on parsley, the stems here, they're okay to put in at this stage. I don't think I would put them in at this stage if I was making the soup, because they're a little bit bitter tasting, but they do add some flavor. And so basically I'm doing the same thing here, is just kind of cutting it up for the soup or for the stock. That's all I need to do with them. And I'm just going to put them in here. You can use as much or as little as you want. Sometimes what I do is I'll do the initial flavoring and then I'll add more as I go. This is bay leaf. It's difficult to grow this, but it's nice if you can. I bought this in the store and it's dried, so I'm just going to use 2 of them. And all you do is put them in there. Now the pepper and salt really goes a lot to just your preference. Some people will say a teaspoon is enough, others say that's not enough. Pepper's the same way. And I just like to kind of douse it, so I use the pepper just like that and put into what looks good to me. I like kosher salt because it has a little stronger flavor. And so I'll put in a little bit there. And then as it cooks, I probably will season this a little bit more. But in the meantime, now we've got our seasoning in there. Just kind of stir it around a little bit. Now generally, a stock like this will take 3 to 4 hours. Some people say an hour and a half. It really is all up to you, how much time that you have. And I'm planning on making like a turkey soup with some dumplings out of this for supper tonight. So I'm probably going to let it go for 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm going to strain it and make the soup. Okay, again, we've turned it down to a simmer, which is about a low medium, and you just want a nice gentle simmering boil on it. You don't want it to do a hard boil. So you'll need to turn it down if you notice that it's a hard boil. Just come back and check on it periodically. In the meantime, just go about and do some other things. And that's it for a little while. All right, let's see if it's ready. Now it's been cooking close to 4 hours. And when I stir it around, you can see how everything falls apart. So it's ready at this stage to be strained. Now I use another big pot that I have, and you can do this actually in the sink or in the counter, whichever way you want to do it, and I just sit the strainer inside like this. And then simply pour it in here like this. And at this point, there's several things that you can do, and there's several different ways that you can do it. You can actually go ahead and put it into the containers that you want if you're going to freeze it. It'll stay in the refrigerator if you're not ready to make anything out of it, but you want to use the whole thing for a soup. You can go ahead and do that. Just put it in the refrigerator. It's good for 3 or 4 days.